Now let us see regarding the Watson and Crick model of the DNA. In the year 1953, James Watson and Francis Crick proposed the DNA structure based on the X-ray crystallographic studies provided by Maurice Wilkins and Rosalind Franklin. The X-ray crystallographic studies done by the Maurice Wilkins and Rosalind Franklin. These are the two scientists. Rosalind Franklin is one of the female scientists who do the study of the DNA through X-ray crystallography, and through the X-ray crystallographic studies, this James Watson and Francis Crick in the year 1953 gives the model of the DNA, and that model well known as the Watson and Crick model of the DNA. For the same discovery, they received the Nobel Prize in the year 1962. This Watson and Crick model of the DNA can be explained in the following points. The first point is nothing but the double helix. Here what happened? We know that the DNA consists of the two strands, and these two strands of the DNA are spirally or helically coiled along the imaginary axis, and that is called as the double helix. Means DNA consists of the two strands, and the two strands of the DNA get helically or spirally coiled along imaginary axis, and that is called as the double helix. That is called as the double helix. Then the second point is nothing but the structure of each strand. If we see the structure of each strand of the DNA molecule in the molecular structure, then we know that the two strands of the DNA get joined together with the help of hydrogen bond. These are the hydrogen bonds, and these hydrogen bonds are present in between this nitrogen bases. That is adenine, thymine, guanine, cytosine. All these are nothing but the nitrogen bases. These two nitrogen bases get joined together with the help of hydrogen bonds. And again, in between these two strands of the DNA, there is also presence of the hydrogen bonds, which are actually present between the nitrogen bases. Means two strands of the DNA get joined together with the help of hydrogen bonds. Here, if we see the structure of each strand of the DNA molecule, then each strand of the DNA molecule consists of like this one nucleotide. This is the second nucleotide. Like this, the number of nucleotides are present in each strand of the DNA molecule. And might it be that this adjacent nucleotide get joined together with the help of phosphodiester bond. With the help of phosphodiester bonds, what happens? The adjacent nucleotides get joined together, and in this way there is a formation of long chain. And might it be that this chain is called as polynucleotide chain. As the DNA is double-stranded, there is a presence of two polynucleotide chain, one from this side and one from this side. There is a presence of two polynucleotide chain. Means there is a presence of two polynucleotide strands. That is nothing but the structure of each strand. Means each strand of the DNA molecule consists of thousands of nucleotides. The adjacent nucleotide get joined together with the help of phosphodiester bond, and in this way there is a formation of long chain. That chain is called as the polynucleotide chain, and the strand is called as polynucleotide strand. As the DNA is double-stranded, there is a presence of two polynucleotide strands. Means two polynucleotide chains are present. Then regarding the complementary base pairing, as I told you before, in case of the DNA, the nitrogen bases are mainly of two types. That is the purines, which are double ring structure, and second one is nothing but the pyrimidines. In case of the purines, that is adenine and guanine are included. While in case of the pyrimidines, thymine and cytosines are included in case of the DNA. While in case of the RNA, this thymine gets replaced by the uracil. Then, if these nitrogen bases are present in the DNA, then might it be that in case of the DNA, they are present in a pairing. Means Here, the base pairing is always occur between the purine and pyrimidine molecule. That is, adenine is always paired with the thymine, or thymine is always paired with the adenine with the help of double hydrogen bond. While the guanine is paired with the cytosine, or cytosine is paired with the guanine with the help of triple hydrogen bond. In this way, the base pairing is occur in case of the DNA. Then, here in case of the DNA, these nitrogen bases are present in base pairs always. Then each base pair along with the hydrogen bond is called as the step of the ladder, because we know that the structure of the DNA is look just like a ladder, and each step of the ladder is nothing but nitrogen bases along with the hydrogen bond. They are also called as the rungs. They are also called as the rungs. What is the meaning of rungs? That is, nitrogen bases along with the hydrogen bond are called as the rungs. Then, regarding the purine-pyrimidine ratio, mind it well that according to the Chargaff's rule, Chargaff is one of the scientists. According to the Chargaff's rule, mind it well that in case of the DNA, that the purines are always equal to the pyrimides. Means purine's nitrogen base is equal to the, that is pyrimidine's nitrogen base. That is, you may call A plus G is equal to the T plus C. A plus G equal to the T plus C, or you may call that is A plus G upon T plus C is equal to the 1. Means in case of the DNA, the purines and pyrimidine's ratios are equal. Then polarity of the strand. We know that if we see the structure of the DNA, then the one strand shows the 3' to 5', or runs toward the 3' to 5', while the another strand is runs to the 5' to 3'. Here actually this was clear in this diagram. If we see the regarding the attachment of the phosphate group, mind it well that here the phosphate group is attached to the 5th carbon atom of the deoxyribose sugar, and so it is nothing but the 5'. And if we see the attachment of middle any one of the phosphate group, then here each phosphate group is attached to the one deoxyribose sugar at carbon atom number 3, while the another deoxyribose sugar at carbon atom number 5. Means here each phosphate group is attached to the one deoxyribose sugar at carbon atom number 3, while the another adjacent, that is deoxyribose sugar at carbon atom number 5. And on the basis of that, this 5' and 3' is written. Here if we see this phosphate group is attached to the 5', and here at a 3' end there is a starting of another nucleotide in which there is a presence of again phosphate group, and so this 5' and 3' and 5' means both the strands of the DNA are run anti-parallel to each other, mind it well. Then major and minor group. Here what happens when the two strands of the DNA get joined together with the help of hydrogen bond, and they are coiled along each other around the imaginary axis. At that time, at the intersection point, there is a formation of the grooves. If we see from these sides, then here there is the presence of deep groove, means whose deepness is more. That is called as the deep groove, or also called as the major groove. And whose deepness is less, then that is called as the minor groove, or also that is called as the shallow groove. And mind it well that these grooves comes alternately, means major, minor, like this the grooves are observed in case of the double helical structure of the DNA. Again, regarding the dimensions, this is the most important for the point of view regarding the objective. Here what happens, when the two strands of the DNA get coiled along each other, at that time this two coil region is called as one turn.
mind it well that the two coil region is called as the one turn. One turn. This turn is also called as the gyre. And mind it well that the length of the each turn is a 34 angstrom, or you may call 3.4 nm. That is nanometer. We know that the 1 nanometer, that is 1 nanometer equal to the 10 angstrom. 1 nanometer equal to the 10 angstrom. Or we know that if we see in case of the meter, then 1 nm equal to the 10 to the power minus 9 meter. Minus 9 meter. Then the length of the each turn or gyre is nothing but the 34 angstrom. And mind it well that in each turn there is a presence of 10 base pairs. 10 base pairs are present. 10 base pairs are present. And we know that inside each nucleotide there is a presence of only one nitrogen base in each nucleotide. And here there is a presence of base pairs. Means here the 10 base pair is equal to, if we see the regarding the number of nucleotide, then 10 base pair is nothing but that is 20 nucleotides are present inside each turn. 20 nucleotides are present inside each turn. Mind it well. Here the distance between the two adjacent nucleotide is 3.4 angstrom or 0.34 nm, and so the total length, as there is the presence of 10 base pair, the total length of the each turn is nothing but 34 angstrom. That is 5 base pair are present in this loop and 5 base pair are present in this loop. This two loop is nothing but the one turn, are also called as the guide, whose length is 34 angstrom or 3.4 nm. Mind it well. Here again the diameter between the two strands of the DNA is 20 angstrom. Again, mind it well that how many nucleotides are present or how many base pairs are present inside the each atom is completely depend upon the types of DNA. Here, this is the right-handed coiling DNA, that is called as the bDNA. In case of the different kinds of the DNA, the length of the turn is different and base pairs which are present, number of base pairs which are present inside the each turn is also different, and on the basis of that there is a different kinds of the DNA also. Here this is the normal right-handed bDNA, and inside each turn there is a presence of 10 base pairs, means 20 nucleotides are present. Okay, thank you.
Now let us see some problems based on the molecular structure of the DNA. We know that here when the two strands of the DNA get coiled along each other, at that time there is a formation of the loop. This two loop is nothing but the one turn or one gyre, whose length is 34 angstrom or 3.4 nanometer. Actually, inside each loop there is a presence of 5 base pairs. 5 base pairs are present, and the distance between the two adjacent base pair or nucleotide is 3.4 angstrom or 0.34 nanometer. And so, as there is a presence of 10 base pair in the each turn, the total length is 34 angstrom or 3.4 nm. This is very important to solve the problems based on the Watson and Crick model of the DNA. Again, one thing, remember that this purine and pyrimidine ratios is equal in case of the DNA, that is Chargaff's rule. These two things must be remembered while solving the problems based on the molecule, based on the Watson and Crick model of the DNA. That is, one turn or gyre equal to 34 angstrom or 3.4 nm, because 1 nm equal to the 10 angstrom. Then 34 angstrom consists of the 10 base pairs, this 20 nucleotides are present. Now let us see how the problems are. Now let us see regarding the problems based on the Watson and Crick model of the DNA. As I told you before, one turn or gyre equal to 34 angstrom means 3.4 nm, consists of 10 base pair, means 20 nucleotides. And again, one thing remember regarding solving of problems based on the Watson and Crick model, that is purines and pyrimidines ratios are equal. That is Chargaff's rule. If the DNA molecule having a length 340 angstrom, then how many nucleotides are present in it? Here we know that 340 means here one turn consists of the 34 angstrom, and here the length of DNA is 340 angstrom, means 10 times is more, and we know that each 34 angstrom consists of the 10 base pair, means here that is multiply by 10, 10 base pairs, means here the 100 base pairs, and we know that 100 base pairs, inside each nucleotide there is a presence of one nitrogen base, and so the number of nucleotide is nothing but the 200. That is 200 nucleotides are present in the DNA which having the length 340 angstrom. This 340 is nothing but that is 10 times more than the each turn. This 10 turns are present, and each turn consists of 10 base pairs. Means how many base pairs are obtained? We can obtain the 100 base pairs, and each nucleotide consists of one nitrogen base, and in this way here there is a presence of 100 base pairs, means there is a presence of 200 nucleotides. Okay. Then second question, how many hydrogen bonds are present in it? As there is a presence of 10 turns, means adenine and thymine and guanine and cytosine. Here 100 base pairs are present, means 50 base pairs are adenine and thymine and 50 base pairs are guanine and cytosine. Means 50 multiplied by 2 hydrogen bond, means here there is a presence of 100, we can obtain by multiplying this 2 hydrogen bond by 50, and so the number of hydrogen bond is nothing but 100. Then again this 50 multiplied by 3, because in between the guanine and cytosine there is the presence of 3 hydrogen bond, means that is 150, and so we can add this and we can obtain that is 250 hydrogen bonds are present in case of this DNA having a length 340 angstrom. Then sometimes the question may be asked like on the Chargaff's rule. That's if the DNA molecule having a 50 adenine and 70 cytosine, means given data is 50 adenine and again 50 cytosine. Here mind it well that as I told you before, the Chargaff's rule told us that purines and pyrimidines ratios are equal and DNA is always double stranded. Here in case of normally the DNA is double stranded, means the nitrogen bases are present in pair. Means if there is a 50 adenine, then there must be the 50 thymine. If there is a 50 cytosine, then there must be the 50 guanine. 50 guanine. In between A and T, double hydrogen bond, G and C, there is a presence of triple hydrogen bond. Means here, if there is a 50 adenine, then 50 thymine is present. And here, in given data, we have to given that is 70 cytosine. Then 70 guanine is present. You have to just add, because each nucleotide consists of one nitrogen base. You have to add this. This is the 100 and this one is nothing but the 140. Means a total that is 240 nucleotides are present. 240 nucleotides are present. Here mind it well that if there is a 50 adenine, means there must be 50 thymine, because DNA is double stranded, and according to the Chargaffs, as I told you before, purines is always equal to the pyrimidines, and so the total number of nucleotide obtained, that is 240 nucleotides. This is regarding the another type of the examples asked on the Watson and Crick model of the DNA.